Welcome back to the Barry Charles Footy Show Car Edition. Yes, in today's episode, we're going to talk about, Benji Marshall. Yes, all the fallout from Tim Sheen's leaving is Benji Marshall, the man, the myth, the guy to get it done for the Tigers. James Tamou on his way out. He's retiring as well this season. Will he get a swan song premiership? Will the Cowboys even make the finals? Will he get back on the field? And we'll talk about more stuff here on Barry Charles Footy Show. Well, first of all, is Benji Marshall. What is happening there? Big questions on the West Tigers. They had Michael Maguire and they let him go. They got Tim Sheens and they've got worse. And now they're going to go to Benji Marshall, who is yet to coach at this level and only had 1 year assistant coach. Very tough scenes for him. Who can he get to help him? That is the big question I ask. Robbie Farah and Dave Fenner are there at the moment. Is there some talent out there that he can help get this team going? Well, let's have a look at possible maybe contenders that maybe would suit Benji's style. You got Jimmy Dymock. I know Jimmy Dymock, from what I've heard, is very good boys sort of assistant coach. So having someone like that in the system would be very, very good with Benji, who is similar. But I mean, Jimmy Dymock would be a good selection there if he's available. But yes, to me, it's defensively. They got the attacking nous, but can they find a defensive coach? I think that's one of the big keys that the West Tigers really need, is to work on someone who's really good on the defense. That's somewhere where they desperately need to look for to get themselves pushing towards that premiership. Who that is probably going to be a big question going forward. Benji Marshall, there's no doubt in the world he's got the nous to do it. I mean, in terms of his football ability, in terms of attacking football, I expect the West Tigers to really get going there. But as I said before, no Dane Laurie. Where's the spark and attack going to go from? You got Wakeham, I presume. Don't know what's happening there, if he's going to get re-signed. They're obviously going to sign somebody, whether it's Aiden Caesar or someone else. They're going to sign someone soon. But to me, it's only a short-term gap selection. They need to find some more talent out there. I'm not sure where it's going to come from, but the West Tigers need. But in terms of Benji's credentials, I'm sure he can do it. With the right support around him. He really does need to find a defensive coach. I really think that's one of the key things the West Tigers needs, and they really need just confidence. And they need to find players as well. If they're looking to sign more players, they've got to find players that are confident and bring confidence to the team. Because at the moment, I just don't see that in the Tigers at the moment. With Luke Brooks going, it's a big hole. Even though, yes, he hasn't got them to the finals and all that, but he's still a talented player. Don't get me wrong. He's still a talented player. And there's a big hole in this where there's not many halfbacks out there. So hopefully the Tigers find someone to replace him soon. Very important for them. James Tamou. Well, he's had 307 games, but hasn't played since round 4 this season. He's just got himself back in from injury, playing New South Wales Cup. Will he get another game? He's going to get celebrated in the last home game of the season for the Cowboys. But it's do or die for the Cowboys. They have to get this one. This is a big game against the Sharkies. It's a must-win game. If they can get it done, then exciting days ahead for you fans out there. I just the Cowboys, I'm not convinced. I mean, I'm expecting them to win today against the Sharkies, but that's no guarantee. This is going to, with no Valentine home, so it's going to be a very interesting game. It's a big game for both these teams going forward. Well, let's now just have a look at Payne Haas. Okay, yes, Payne Haas we have to talk about. I haven't talked about it, even though it was done earlier. 1.2 million over the next 4 years to 2027. Obviously Tino's got that as well. They both got the same amount, 1.2 million. So obviously he was never really thinking about rugby. It was just all scuttlebutt, as they say. So yeah, to me, it's going to be interesting to see if Broncos can become a powerhouse again, because Penrith are still looking like the team to beat. The Broncos have the chance to really knock them off their perch. So it's going to be interesting times ahead there if the Broncos can get it done. To me, you just have to sign these players now, because there's not many of these superstar props out there in the game. You got Payne Haas, You've got Fisher Harris, Moses Leota. Hargraves at his best is very good as well. Obviously, Adam Fanua, Blake, and Tino. And then after that, there is a few others, don't get me wrong. There's other players that are decent players, but there's a big gap between the best and the rest. So that's a big signing from Payne for the Broncos. Very, very good for them. Be interesting to see how they go. Looking forward. Warriors, yes, I was watching Phil Gould on the 6 Tackles with Gus. Talk about the Warriors. Have they run out of steam? If they run out of fitness, getting towards the finals. We have some few fresh players like Jazz Tavaga. Obviously, we've got Timothy Martin to come back. So there were a couple of fresh players that haven't played a lot this season. Yeah, you could argue that they're not playing the greatest at the moment, and they haven't been, but they're still winning. And that's the difference for everyone out there that's going, boo-hoo, the Warriors. The Warriors have been winning games that normally they would lose. So the fact that the Warriors are winning these games is very exciting and very good for the competition going forward. They obviously got to go to another level if they want to be true title contenders this year. They definitely have a chance of doing that. But there's got to be more than just Sean Johnson if they want to do that. Sean Johnson's playing very good football, but he's going to need chance to step up. Egan's going to step up. Whoever plays that 6 jersey, if it's Metcalf still going to be there or Timothy Martin, they're going to have to help Sean Johnson out here. And as we've said all along, it's the knockathon, the Pompeys, the Berries, even Tohu Harris is knocked on. I mean, these little things in the game are going to cost them in the big games. They've got to get their hands right and get themselves motivated for the season ahead. So who's the most in danger here going into this footy? The Raiders, they have to win this week. If they lose this week, they are gone. They are out. You can forget about them. They will not win another competition. I mean, they won't make the comp if they lose to the Bulldogs this week. I don't expect them to, but Raiders absolutely have to win this week. Cowboys are just about the same. Not quite, but they pretty much have to they've got to get a win, the Cowboys. The Knights, again, this is a game they need to probably win. And the Rabbitohs still have a chance if they lose. But still, Knights have to win 2 more. So it's going to be an interesting finish. Knights could sneak in with 1-1 from here, depending on all the results of the game. So Cowboys are going to have to probably win 2. So it's going to be a big. Roosters obviously going to win all 3 and hope for a miracle. But when the dust settles, I think Parramatta are going to miss out. Parramatta need to win, obviously, this week. If there are to be any hope, they've got to beat the Roosters. Whoever loses that game is clearly gone. Their season is done. But I think both these seasons are done, in my opinion, the Eels and the Roosters. And it's going to be interesting if it's going to be the Raiders or the Cowboys, probably for their next one to miss out, and possibly the Knights. But I expect the Rabbitohs, even if they lose this week, they'll finish off well and win the last couple. But anyway, that's Barry Charles Footy Show for today. Have a great day out there. And remember to like and subscribe to the channel, and have a great day out there.